What's up, guys? This is K-LO, and normally I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, but welcome back to another episode of Hot Topic, and boy oh boy, do we got a hot one for you today. I am joined by Aden, the resident Borderlands expert here. Why don't you say what's up?
I'm going to give you the world's biggest
Ooh, it was so loud, the
uh,
audio did not
character.
register.
The character that they, did not include in the Borderlands trailer at the Game Awards when they should have. A lot of people pointed that out.
Uh,
Just saying.
Just saying, we got a lot to break down because, as he just said, Borderlands 4, we got our first gameplay trailer, and there's a lot to dissect there. We want to dive in more. But before we do all that, of course, you got to have your vegetables before we get to dessert here. Why don't you like and subscribe here to Game Sandwich? We're churning out more gaming content as per usual. If you want, join our Discord. Links to that is all in the video description down below. And without further ado, let's dive into this trailer. I want to first start off with you because you're the Borderlands person here. What are we feeling coming out of the Game Awards about Borderlands 4?
I mean, honestly, I am feeling strong about the gameplay. Very strong about the gameplay. Because, I'm sure playing Borderlands, you can agree with me, Borderlands 3 had the best gameplay of them.
Oh yeah.
Really, like, gameplay top notch there. I loved everything about it and loved everything involving just the skill trees that everyone had. Ball hunters were all fun to play. Like, each one of them had unique abilities. They did amazing upgrades to the movement system and everything. But the story is ultimately where it fell flat. And I didn't see enough where I'm like, hey, I trust them with this story because they so in the trailer it shows what essentially I would believe at first glance to be the Vault War that the Watcher talked about. Then when you dive further into it and you read the blah whatever it is, the full in-depth like description of it and everything, and like I think there was like a PlayStation blog post about it and all that. When you actually read deep into it, it's like, oh, you're just that all they're doing is talking about the Timekeeper and a clan called the Rippers fighting each other on a planet called Kairos. Now, that to me doesn't say necessarily this is the Vault War or the War of the Vaults or whatever they wanted to call it. And so I'm iffy as to whether or not they're actually going to continue a storyline that people want to know about and care about.
This is my thing with Borderlands. I think there's nowhere to go but up after 3. That's just my take on it. I didn't resonate with the Calypso twins as the villain. I thought whatever of the 4 Vault Hunters, and I think that's what's carrying over here. But, like you said, it's not the problem with the gameplay because from Borderlands 1, which we streamed here on this channel, we're playing Borderlands 2, at least as per the time of this recording, and then we're going to go play 3 and so on and so forth. The gameplay got better. Everything got smoother, the vehicles got better, gunplay, everything top notch. And it's like, all right, now we're up. Are we going to go further up? Are we going to go down? I don't know. The Vault Hunters is the thing we're mainly piecing together here today, but what's more important here is this open world that we're going to be exploring. And Randy Pitchford, protect him if you want, he put out this quote that basically said when you look in this trailer, you're looking out to the vista, you can go to that mountain, you can go to this place, and it's like Skyrim where you can just climb any mountain you see on the horizon. It's like Breath of the Wild. What are your thoughts on that? Because Borderlands typically is more about these larger zoned areas versus one large sprawling thing.
See, I don't know how I feel about it personally because they've never done a truly open world, but I also am I'm just very hesitant in general to say, "Oh, this is going to be so good." Because we've seen other companies say, "Okay, we're making an open world," and then unleash the floodgate to, "Hey, make this massive open world," and it all of a sudden turns terrible. And I'm just going to point the finger straight at Nintendo and say, "Hey, They did a terrible job when they did it for Pokemon. They did a terrible job when they did it for Legend of Zelda. I don't trust companies a lot to say, "Oh, we're going to go from a zoned area to a fully open world." It kind of has a habit of backfiring on them. So I hope that really he's saying the zoned in areas are going to be a lot larger, not
Yeah.
that they're actually going to be fully open world.
Yeah, that's my thing, and it's like two different ends of the spectrum here. You got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, where that open world was big, it was jam packed full of things, and pretty much if you just walk off the main pathway, which they tell you not to because there's spooky monsters in the bushes, you'll run into something. Then you get into, alright, Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the other end of the spectrum. While it was a big open world, it was very much full of bloat, stuff you really didn't need, and there were areas in that, and I looked to Red Dead Redemption 2 as well, where you're just kind of in the open plains. There's nothing there. There's no NPCs, there's no camps, there's no nothing. And it's like, all right, where are we striking that medium? I do believe it's more of what you're saying as far as, yes, we're going to get the classic Borderlands. Here's the, it's called a biome or something like that, the fancy term, where it's like, all right, here's this area. You can explore and it's going to be bigger. And I hold that standard because this is going to be on a next gen console. More powerful, more stuff, more teraflops to make the world bigger. So I think I'm right there with you. It's not going to be this massive map like Breath of the Wild. It's going to be the classic Borderlands, like, here's this area, go here, explore that, and then move on.
Yeah, I mean, like if they do it fully open world, then I could see very like there being a lot of issues of people getting into areas early that they shouldn't get into, or ultimately there being like a lot of big issues that open world games encounter that maybe Gearbox just isn't geared for yet. Maybe they aren't necessarily at that level at this point, but they are at the level of making very massive zoned areas.
Yeah, I agree fully. Now, speaking of gear, we're going to talk about how Gearbox has to deal with this fan backlash. I'm not going to call it backlash. I'm just going to call it lukewarm reception to the people in which you're exploring these lands with. The four Vault Hunters, which you pointed out, and now I'm just thinking about it. How did we not get their names in the trailer? Like a quick little stop. Like, here's Bill as one of
I mean,
the.
I don't think we got them in the original Borderlands 3 trailer either, did we? I don't think we ever got their names. They revealed it later in like blog posts and stuff and had full cosplay like how-to guides for them.
I probably, but still, it kind of feels weird. Like, not getting their names, or at least by
It does.
now. Like, this is the Monday after the Game Awards. You'd think by now, or at least over the weekend, they'd be like, all right, here's Bill, Tim, Jim Bob, whatever. There you go. Like, but we're sitting here, we don't know. We know what they look like. But what are your thoughts on this set of Vault Hunters? You've been hard at work deciphering all the different classes, everything that has to do with this. So I'm going to pass this
Yeah,
one off to you.
I mean, you and I watched the Game Awards together. My first reaction was very iffy. I don't want to say anything I don't want to say anything overtly negative or like offensive about it. It's just they did not resonate with me in the sense of they feel like very forced.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like they feel almost very forced, like, oh, we're trying, like how we mentioned in a previous video, hey, we're trying to check a box and move on. And I don't know if they will be good beyond that. I want to say yes because a lot of Borderlands characters I do enjoy. So there was a lot of bad reception whenever they first showed off the Borderlands 3 characters. Like people didn't like Zane at first, and then they mentioned, "Oh, his last name is Flint," and everyone was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
So you get like this good reception after the fact when you reveal their names and you reveal all the information about them. So I'm waiting on more information, but going by first look, They were very desaturated. They seemed very monotoned. Like they didn't have a lot of color that made them pop or anything. It was a lot of they looked bland. Now I did see an image too where someone did increase the saturation and actually showed what they would look like in more of like a neon setting, and they looked amazing at that point. So really, I guess it's like lighting dependent.
Yeah, which is weird, especially when you talk about Borderlands and that cell shaded style. Everything pops in that game, and you'd think your four main characters. You brought up a point. I don't know if we were in a video or we were just talking. You said it was like, you'd expect these characters to stand out, like compared to an NPC you'll see on a street. It's like, yeah, like these are the main characters. They're larger than life. And a few quotes of people, they're saying it's either atrocious or, like you said, bland. I think this also has to do with, while we seen them in the trailer, did we really, and I'm talking about the all caps, really see these people? Because they didn't speak, at least to my knowledge. I don't think we heard any quippy lines or anything from them. So it's like, all
They
right,
didn't.
yeah. So it's like, do we wait and cast judgment for like another trailer? I assume the smart thing now, if they were ever gonna do it, which who listens to me anyway? I think moving forward, do with Concord what that game didn't do. Release little character bio videos, like whether it's in-game footage or whatever, and build the lore. Do it now. You've seen it happen with Concord, and
They will.
This is like the same situation, though, right? With
Yeah,
Concord and this.
I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, they aren't revealing any information now, but I know Gearbox, and they will.
Yeah, it's also like
They,
3 days
they
removed, so it's like a
yeah.
little
I
early.
mean, they're gonna end up showing stuff. I guarantee you, it's gonna end up being more or less like they did for Borderlands 3, where they say, "Oh, meet this character, like meet Flack. This is your cosplay guide for him."
Yeah,
Oh, meet Amara. Here's your cosplay guide for her. I guarantee you they're going to do something similar to that, or they're going to release like small trailers that are just like, here's this character, here's a trailer that's focused solely on them. That, and we haven't even gotten the one trailer that's always the introduction of the game.
yeah,
Like, they always do a trailer that's like the literal game introduction.
yeah.
So,
And it's
like, we'll get it.
and it's odd not to go off on a tangent, because then I want to talk more about the 4 classes that could be in play here. But I'm seeing this thing of people not resonating with the characters right away in another game that was shown at the Game Awards, being Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, where people are like, oh, like, I don't think I really vibe with this. And does that have to do with Naughty Dog and The Last of Us Part 2? That whole ordeal? Maybe, but it's the same thing here. Now, what do you think about the classes? I want to say, because I'm looking at Borderlands 3. Mose was the gunner, Zane was the operative, Amara, of course, the siren, and Flack, the beastmaster. I can almost say a safe bet is siren, and then one of them has this drone and or animal with them, like a companion type deal. The other two,
See, I can
open.
see that being okay. So just to break it down, like how I view them, it's literally homeless guy, siren, Viking, and dreadlock woman, I guess, or like curly haired woman. I don't know. I don't know. Like tech lady. There you go. We could just call her tech lady. Like, I could see the tech lady having something like that.
Yeah.
I could see her having like a companion character of some sort, maybe a little robot.
Yeah.
There you go.
A little spider. I'm going to call it now. It's going to be a little spider thing. I don't know. Well, watch it's not even that.
She summons claptrap units.
That could be a thing. Also, too, like, it's a weird tangent, too. Playing the pre-sequel, when you play as Claptrap, I like the little detail. His field of view is adjusted to his height, so it's not like the camera's up here and his eyes down here. Nice little touch. It's funny,
I mean, they did that in Borderlands 3 too, where each character actually had a set height.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that. I enjoy the little things like that.
Exactly. Their eyes are down here, not up here, as they say.
But you know what? Here, I'll start off on the left, or well, when you see the image of them first, I guess, in the trailer,
Yeah.
which is the homeless guy that's people say looks the most bland and the most like just a normal NPC that you'd find. Now, there was one comment that I do want to say made did seem interesting to me, which let me look it up real quick. New Tale, like, so the new Tales from the Borderlands game. Do you remember the guy's name? Wasn't it Octavio or something?
Potentially. I did not play that one.
Yeah, it's Octavio. So there were some people who were pointing out that they think that the new character looks kind of like a grown-up Octavio.
Hmm.
I don't think that New Tales and then the timeline from New Tales of the Borderlands to now is going to
Yeah.
match up for that to be an old enough Octavio that he has changed his look that much and is not still an immature ass.
That.
So
Yeah.
just gonna switch that now. I don't think that that's Octavio, but it's going to be a new character. He does look a little bit more interesting than people first pointed out because if you zoom in on him, you can actually see that he has a septum piercing. You can see that he's more like a little bit gruff, like a little rough around the edges and everything. And I like his whole like shooting the blades out of his arms and
Yeah.
like spinning around, being able to slash things. That right there, I want to give him like some sort of a class name, kind of like how they had in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, like the Stabomancer.
That'd be
I
funny.
want, I want to call him the Blade Runner.
Ooh. Do we get crossover
Like
IP problems there, or
maybe, I mean, maybe to avoid that, I want to call him like something. Maybe not the Blade Runner, but maybe just Blade Dancer or something.
the stabby boy?
Yeah,
Oh,
they just
I think I just
throw
came
it out the
across.
window and go Stabby Boy.
I think I came across that image where you were talking about how the characters were under like neon, like pink neon,
Yeah,
and they look better. They look a lot better. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, if you could just throw it up, just throw it up for an image. Here you go, people. Boop,
Over
you can see
there,
it.
over
Haha.
here. Yeah.
But yeah, like just them being under more neon light looks so much better.
It does, and you know, suddenly I'm looking at the homeless dude on the left. Uh, Octavio doesn't sound too far fetched. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Descendant, I don't know. He does have robotic legs. At least it looks like. I'm trying to zoom in. His legs are cut off on the corner, but he looks like he has robotic legs. Which,
I don't know. Later on, where does it show him? Like it shows him walking later on.
yeah.
Yeah, he does. It looks like he has robotic legs for that brief moment. Like he's running right there. No, I mean he looks kind. They look kind of robotic, but also I can't see it clear enough that I can tell.
Yeah. I mean, a Blade Runner guy doesn't sound too far fetched either. Like a swords master or something like that. Which, you know, outside from Krieg, I want to say we didn't get like a melee weapon person. Like, of course, we got Brick and others, but like a melee weapon person, hey, we
Yeah,
might need that.
we have not gotten an official melee character
Official.
besides like Amara kind of was because she was supposed to be like a melee siren. She did have a more melee focused class like action skill. And that's another thing we need to account for. What are the action skills going to be? Because guaranteed they're going to have multiple
Yeah.
from like because that was something that people liked in 3 was the build diversity that the multiple action skills actually allowed for. So for him specifically, do you think his action skill is going to end up just being like oh, we just get the blades and that's it, run around, slice and dice? Or is it going to be that's one of them, and then maybe one of them is that he shoots them?
It could be. I mean, I like in Cyberpunk, they do have like the pretty much swords that come out from your wrist. Like,
Mantis blades.
yeah, the mantis blades. I couldn't think of the word. I thought that was good. I thought that was useful. Although I must say, in a game like Borderlands, where weapons and guns are like the thing, like the big selling point, am I really gonna use that ability? But like that's more my personal play style. I'm more of like I like to use the guns in a game like this compared to melee, where I'm like I'm gonna play Skyrim if I want to do melee combat.
Well, I mean, also think about what they did in Borderlands 3. They had a gun specifically that was it shoots your melee damage.
Yeah, that could work too. Nice
So,
build.
with a character like that, could be really useful right there.
I'm trying to see live on the
Now,
show if I can zoom in, see if they have anything on their body. But um, I are we assuming the person to the right is the siren, right?
yeah, I mean, she
Tattoos.
has the siren tattoos. It's going to end up definitely being the siren. My big question is, who is it going to be? And now, if anyone's interested, I wrote a whole article about breaking it down that we can link in the video. But it seemed like I want to talk about a popular theory, which has been going around that I thought of whenever I saw her and whenever I was thinking about her, especially with the purple tattoos. That is a specific detail that has only appeared one other time in Borderlands, and it was in the prequel during a quest called Digging Up the Past. And in that quest, you listen to these echo recorders from an NPC named Annie Swan talking about caring for her daughter or whatever, and then her daughter Emily Swan. And in that specifically, she mentions the Watcher, like the alien Watcher looking over her and everything, and telling her that Emily's going to end up living and that they need to leave the moon. And then immediately after that, the next echo recording is that a nurse mentioned that there was some purple light that lifted her up, and then Emily just woke up after that. So, could that purple light end up being that is when her siren powers manifested?
Could be. I got a purple light behind me. Am I gonna get my siren powers here today? Hopefully, that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, maybe.
That'd be pretty cool. But it,
But you're not a female, so you can't.
yeah, darn. I got the tattoos though. Maybe that'll do something for me. But in retrospective, and as you were saying that story, I'm kind of just thinking about it like the pre-sequel, Tales of the Borderlands. I don't personally think not Borderlands, Gearbox would put out those games just to put out the games. Be like, hey, yeah, we don't got a Borderlands. Here's a little mini thing to kind of wet your whistle. I would like to think those games are used to build the overall universe, as good storytellers would use those games for. So
Yeah.
using those two characters that we just talked about to get little tastes of their story. I mean, in previous games like mainline Borderlands games, we've gotten hints to other people within that universe. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, Tails was used in 3 because they brought in Vaughn.
there you go. So it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility where they're like, hey, this person was talked about, you just weren't listening enough. So I'm all for it. Sign me up.
Yeah. And someone did point out that in Borderlands 3, there's an echo log that you can get that actually talks about the Timekeeper. And the
Look at that.
Timekeeper's in Borderlands 4.
Look at
So
that. It was there in front of you the whole time.
it was. And but going back to the Siren with her abilities, like her action skill, I fully believe that we are not, for anyone who thinks, we are not going to be getting Phase Leech.
Hmm.
I don't think, because I don't know how much time has passed from Borderlands 3 to Borderlands 4. We see Zane has long hair now
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's like pulled back into a ponytail, but so we know time has passed. We know at least time's passed long enough for him to grow out his hair to a decent length. So maybe give it a year or something, half a year to a year. But I don't think that's enough time for Tyreen to have died and then her powers to be manifested in some new siren, and then that new siren be able to learn her abilities good enough, get a good enough grasp on her abilities to be able to be used as a playable character.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's it. I don't think that that's possible right there. Don't think that that would have happened. Plus, the like it's hard to say whether or not the purple tattoos, like the pinkish purple tattoos, will actually matter because it could be like a Mara thing where her tattoos change color. Because Amara's change color depending on your action skill. So I'm not going to take a ton. I'm not going to read into it a ton right there, but except for the Emily Swan thing, because that's a very weird coincidence right there.
It
But
is. It is.
action skill wise, I think we see finally who, well, not who, but what powers Common on Steel had
Ooh.
from the first game.
Wouldn't be too bad. I mean, there's certainly plot threads that need to be tied up. I mean, I say need,
Yeah.
but I would like for them to be tied up. And your fourth game in, you might as well do something there. Especially
Yeah.
if you want to build up quests, you know. Throw
Yeah,
that in.
I mean, we played the original Borderlands together. Commandant Steel, she opens the vault, and then right at the end, she just dies.
Mm-hmm.
Never get to see her powers. We just know that she can activate the vault key,
That was it.
and we just know that she's a siren. So, her powers being manifested in somebody, especially during the pre-sequel, could actually bring it, give it enough time that she could learn her abilities, and then there you go.
It's all about the timeline, people. And
Now, I have no idea what that ability will be, but I will point out animal control was talked about.
ooh, see, I liked Flak in Borderlands 3, so any animal control, I'm in on it. That's all I'm about. But speaking of a guy, I'm all in on is this dude, the big Viking bearded dude. No bias here, obviously, but you said in the trailer he spawns in two axes like through cybernetic
Mhm.
whatever.
There's a brief moment where he just like you see like two glowing axes appear, and then he just launches them.
Sign me
And
up for this
one's
dude.
like blue and one's red, I believe.
Sign me all the way up for this dude. I cannot get enough. Although I'm looking at these character designs and I can't help but think robotics and cybernetics were used way too much in this group. He has a missing left arm. The siren, at least looks like on her left hand, she's got some weird gauntlet thing going on. The
Yeah.
homeless dude's missing his legs. And you pointed out the girl all the way on the right. She has these tubes of whatever coursing through her, or at least we think. So it's like, hey, do we really need everyone who's Darth Vader-esque in this? But that's just me being picky. I like this dude. Don't get me wrong. This is the guy I'm going to be playing
Yeah.
this. So,
Well, I mean, cybernetics kind of go with the whole Borderlands aesthetic, you know? I mean,
yeah.
we've steadily seen more and more people with like robotic limbs and everything throughout the series, so I'm not surprised that these people have like robotic limbs and everything. I'm more concerned about like the one I'm mainly concerned about is like the bearded guy or Nordic dude or whatever you want to call him. I'm curious as to if the axes were just a singular action skill
Ooh.
or if it's he controls nanotech and he has like nanotech stored in his arm.
He has
Because
this
that was a theory
canister.
floated out there.
He has this canister on his right shoulder, which again we don't know what all of this is, but hey, that could be a thing. That could be very
Yeah.
much a thing. So I'm trying to get human anatomy right. Your heart is on your left side of your chest here. His
Yeah.
left side is missing entirely, it looks like, because that's where the cybernetics kind of start. Who knows with this? Could it be tied to his spirit, his warrior spirit? I don't know. Watch that.
They could be going with a barbarian style from like D&D
Look at that. We might have
kind of
just
thing,
cracked the
like
code.
go into like a whole berserker rage kind of deal, but like have it be with nanotech. I mean, that might be cool.
Fire. I mean, I was looking at various clips of Borderlands over the weekend, and someone pointed out in their thumbnail, I didn't watch the video, there were, maybe you can attest to this, Windhelm clone, and I'm like, I don't know, like, is that for this guy specifically? I don't know. Can't speak on
I mean,
that
I
any
couldn't
further.
tell you.
Couldn't
But you know
tell
what? Just because it's on my mind, and I mentioned the whole nano swarm thing, if he doesn't have like nanotech swarms or whatever, then like so Siren. I want to point out that if it is the animal control, I very much want her to have like a whole insect swarm thing where she just like controls insects, maybe
Mm,
not animals, but just like can control swarms of insects or something, or control nature, so
yeah.
that way she can like bring up like vines from the ground or something, or like make swarms of bugs attack enemies in clouds.
Going off, and this is all we have to go off of, just looks. I mean, her and nature might get along. Uh,
Yeah,
just by looks alone, that could be the deal.
she likes the crystals.
The crystals, the rocks, everything.
Man, now what about the last lady, like the tech lady? Like, what are you feeling? I mean, she's got all these tubes and everything running through her. I mean, later on, you see that she has like there is a brief shot later on after it shows the like berserker rage guy or whatever, where she has like some sort of like thing on her back that looks kind of like a jetpack.
I I'm sticking to this notion she is the tech person and she's wearing glasses. She's got mechanic like pants, like the parachute pants. And like you said, this tubing that goes all through her body and the big gloves. You also brought up she could be wielding like a minigun, something like that. That would be a cool ability. And if she's wearing a jetpack, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, have we gotten, I'm blanking, but have we gotten like a jetpack or a flying person before?
No, like we've never had anyone who solely flies, but we have like we've gotten anti-gravity with the
Mm,
pre-sequel,
yeah.
or well, a lack of gravity, not anti-gravity. So her ability, like I'm kind of feeling like an Iron Man-esque thing,
Ooh, that'd be
where
cool.
like maybe she can like just fly above people and like rain fire down or something. Like maybe, maybe they pull out some Iron Man tech, like I just said, and just go, okay, she's flying above people. Maybe she does like a big pulse blast or something. Maybe like I don't know. Maybe she's able to like burn jet fuel down or something on people.
I think either way you slice it, she's going to be the tech person of this group. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, 50-50 bet with the homeless guy. Yeah, I think either one of those are going to be tech based people, but I'm leaning more towards her, where she's like, oh, I do like the idea if she does have this jetpack. It's a different vantage point. Also, out of all these people, I don't know who would be a sniper or assassin type character.
Yeah.
So maybe she fills that void with like getting different vantage points. Who knows
Yeah, I mean
there?
that is a good point because they always have a sniper.
Yeah.
They always have someone who's like a longer range. Like they had Zero, who played both roles basically because he did have a melee attack too. But they have him. They had Mordecai in three. They had Flack. Now in this one, I mean, she'd be perfect for the especially if she can fly. She'd be perfect for the sniper role.
I just want mantling in this game. Can we get mantling where you can climb over stuff, please? Like that's the one thing that my biggest gripe with 1 and 2. You can't mantle over things. I can't get over the box. I need to.
Oh, it'll be there.
It
They
needs
did
to.
it in three. You're fine.
I'm just
Well, kind
worried.
of in three.
Yeah, oh,
They did it so you can climb up ledges, but that's
I need full like hardcore parkour free running. But do we have any big hot take or a big guess for this group? Who do you think is the favorite? Who do you think is going to be the favorite coming out of all this?
you know what. I see the Siren being the favorite a lot, so I feel for tradition like it's gonna end up being the Siren, just because I mean Amara was like everyone's favorite, and then even before that we had Lilith being everyone's favorite and Maya being everyone's favorite, and, and so I feel like the Siren's gonna be everyone's favorite, but if you want a second favorite, I'm gonna go with the big guy. I'm gonna go with Bearded Dude.
I want to say he's going to be the favorite, but I'm here for hot takes, and I'm going to say Tech Lady is going to be the favorite at the end of the day. We're going to get trailers. We're going to get everything. She's going to be cute. She's going to be charming. She's going to have all the tech, the cool stuff. So I'm putting it down, even though I'm going to main the big guy. I'm going to go Tech Lady. Is also
Okay.
I'd love to revisit this video and see how wrong or how right we
Oh,
are. whenever it comes to all
Whenever they
this.
do a full announcement of everyone, we need to make another one just breaking down every Vault Hunter saying,
Full
hey, this is
checklist.
how correct we were.
Or how horribly wrong, because watch the big dude's the sniper, and everything's all thrown off, but
Oh, that'd be weird. But you know what? I'll just call it role wise. I'll just say Tech Lady, definitely sniper. Big dude's gonna end up being the soldier of the group because there's always a soldier. And then obviously the siren, we can't change her.
she is what
Turns out
she
big
is.
guy's the siren.
Imagine
Just
that'd
can't
be
see his tattoos because it's an arm.
you're
Because
on. You might be onto something.
it's the middle arm. And
Uh,
then obviously the other guy, he's going to be more the like well-rounded and like more melee focused probably because there is like a tendency to have someone be like a more DPS melee focus, and I guarantee you he's going to be that.
we shall see. I mean, it's going to be interesting heading into Borderlands 4. I'm sure as more time rolls on. When do you think we get the next trailer? I'm going to say Summer Games Fest.
I mean, when is Summer Games Fest?
I'd say June, July.
No, we're going to get it in PAX.
Oh, I keep forgetting
PAX
about it.
East, PAX East is in May, so guaranteed they reveal some sort of trailer at PAX because that's like Gearbox's thing. They typically do PAX.
There you
So
go.
I don't know if it'll be a full Vault Hunter reveal. I feel more like the Vault Hunters are going to get revealed prior to that
That'd be
and talked
nice.
about prior. But I feel like at PAX or Summer Games Fest they're going to finally do that like the last trailer that's like the opening sequence trailer,
Yeah.
and then we're going to prior to that get an announcement of the release date's sometime in the summer.
Yeah. I'm down. I'm here for it all. I can't wait.
No,
I know this is a big thing for Gearbox and Borderlands in general, especially coming off the movie. Can't stress this enough how much this trailer would have hit if that movie hit as well. But, we're not here to talk about the movie.
yeah.
You've talked about it enough. I understand you're not a fan, but
Now, one final question for you: how many action skills you think for each person? Because in 3 we had 3 to start with, and then we got a fourth for each person.
I want to say 4 is like the max you can do because then you start getting into this thing of too much choice there, too much freedom, because then you kind of like how much can you expand without overlapping someone else's skill tree or something like that. So
But now, do we get 4 to start, or is it another case of we get 3 to start, fourth being added later?
I want to say 3 to start, 4 later, and then they're going to add 2 other characters because they do DLC characters. Do it that way.
I mean, they've done DLC characters twice, and they've complained about it both times.
Third time's the
So
charm, maybe. I don't know. But
I agree with you, but I'm saying there's going to be four to start. I think that's the new gold standard. Is they start with 4,
yeah,
and then DLC characters.
and that all hinges on like what these classes actually are versus like, oh, it's just siren, assault, sniper, melee. So we'll see. We'll come back to this no doubt because there's going to be a lot to unpack with Borderlands. But do you have any closing thoughts here on Hot Topic?
I'm just going to make one wild statement that Handsome Jack is going to be in this game. He's not going to be the main villain, obviously, but his AI will be in this game,
Ooh,
and he might end up being a playable character.
wow. All
We
right.
might actually get Handsome Jack as the playable character via an AI.
If it's AI, Handsome Jack Claptrap. I don't
You know
know.
what? I could see that, but no, I just think it would just be full robot.
Full robot. Okay.
Yeah, just a full robot.
Who
Like, I
knows?
guarantee you Handsome Jack's coming back. And it's gonna be some form of robot.
He's gonna be on a USB drive or something. He's gonna be in a gun. That could be a thing too. Who knows?
Oh yeah. He could totally be in a gun, but there's going to be Handsome Jack AI in this. I guarantee it.
Wow. All right. Well, we're gonna have a lot to come back to look at for Borderlands 4 whenever we get more word on this. But as of right now, that about does it here for this episode of Hot Topic. If you want to talk more about your favorite video games, join our Discord. Links to that is all down below. Subscribe to Game Sandwich for more gaming content just like this. But as for now, I've been K-Lo, joined by Aden, and we'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.